Hello and welcome to episode 177 of the Mouses Makes Knitting podcast. I've got a frog and I've got a finish to show you today. But before I do any of that, I'm just going to show you some things, some questions that have come up in the comments and messages that I've been having, that people can't find things. Somebody mentioned that on their iPad they can't see the full description box. Now, I don't have an iPad. We don't have any Apple devices, in fact, because we are poor. But what I do have is a cheap, generic tablet from Amazon. It's not even a Fire tablet. So I'm going to try and show you on this because I believe the YouTube app is going to be similar on whatever device you've got it on. So I did do, last year, I did do like a little short on how to find the description box if you're watching on your television set. And I will try and show you that as well. So, this is my YouTube channel page. So if I click on last week's podcast and quickly pause it, because we don't need to be looking at me. This is like, have you ever been in one of those lifts that's mirrors all round? And there's just reflections of your reflection going on until infinity. That's what this feels like. So I'm going to hold this close. If you look underneath the yellow triangle, which isn't on all videos, it's only on this one, you can see there's a little more. Did you see that? So if I press that, it gives me this. And this is part of the description box, not the whole thing. So I have to look again for, down at the bottom here, there's more again. So if I click that, it gives me the whole description box, and you can scroll up and down it. So that may be where you're losing part of the description box, is you're not clicking on more the second time. I'm only guessing because, as I say, I haven't got an iPad, so I don't know for certain, but that would be my guess. The other question that came up was that I wasn't putting all the projects that I'd shown. I hadn't put links to all of them in the description box. I have, but I've done it differently. So let me see, where is it? No, I can't find it. This is going well, isn't it? If I can't find it, I'm not surprised you can't find it. And I'm looking at it and I know what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is, underneath this video that we're watching now, I'm going to list them all separately. But let me show you this anyway. So in your description box, you've got whips there. And that shows you a link to the Bits and Bobs blanket. And then below that, cast-ons from the cast-on party. And if I click on that link, that takes you to what's called a bundle in Ravelry. And I've got it shown as a list here. So that's all of them. And then if there's one in particular that you wanted to see, Front Street Bag, let's say, click on Front Street Bag and it will bring up the link to the pattern. But that's obviously been causing loads of confusion, so I'm not going to do it like that. It was easier for me, basically. It meant I didn't have to spend ages copying and pasting links into the description box. I only had to do one that took you to everything. But it seems to have confused people, and so I'll do it the old way. Okay. Hopefully that's sorted all the questions that everybody had. I was going I don't know if I can. If you go to my channel, so when you're looking at the video, if you click on the Little Mouses Makes picture, the picture that looks like this, you will be able to see all the videos that I've put up. And last year sometime I put up a little short about how to find the description box on your television. If you look at that, that will show you how to do it with your controller. And hopefully that has sorted everybody. Right, shall we talk about some actual knitting now, as we are nearly 6 minutes in. I'm going to start with my finish, actually. You haven't seen this since November last year. It was meant to be a Christmas present for last year, and I didn't get it finished during November. December came along and there were advents to open and advents to knit, and so it just didn't get looked at again. But earlier this year I fished it out, and it's been my beside the bed knitting. So a few rows in the morning when I wake up or before I go to sleep, and I've managed to get it finished. Where are we? I think I've moved. Oh no, maybe not. That's where it was last time you saw it. That is a nice Christmas stitch marker from Chapel View Crafts with a little, I think it's meant to be like a Christmas sweater cookie. So I'd done this much of it, and I only had this much to do. This marker here marks the middle, so I was past the middle. I just had that bit to do, and I managed to finish that yesterday. The pattern I used is, I think, a free pattern. It's called the Morrison Scarf, and I'll hold it closer so you can see the slip stitches. The pattern tells you to use scraps and a full skein, or a full skein and then scraps for the slip stitches. There's loads of ways that you can, here we go again, not adapt it. You know what I mean. There's loads of ways to personalise it, to make it your own. And I chose to do it all in one colour. Showing up on the screen, you can see there's a line across it. It's actually every 50 rows. You can't really see that in real life, but I think the way the light works, it's showing up. That's where because it's knit as a tube, and I have joined both sides together so that it can't roll itself out. What am I trying to say? Oh God. It can't go back into a tube. It's got to stay flat. So every few rows I have connected the stitches from needle 1 to needle 2 so that it stays as it is. That's not in the pattern. I saw that on a podcast ages ago. I can't think what the podcast was, but very simply, you put your needle into the stitch that you're knitting, and then you go through to the cable that's got the other side stitches on, and you just pick one of those up and knit the two together. And then when you get round to the other side, you just knit those stitches as normal, and it doesn't affect the stitches that you're picking up. It just makes like a little connection between the two sides. I feel like I'm doing what I always do and making this sound really, really complicated when it's not. But hopefully you get what I mean. So that is my finished object. It's left over from last year, so I'm doubly pleased about that. Knitting Yarn Smith's Merino Sock Country Green. Which is 2K207. There we go. And on, I should do the whole thing really, shouldn't I? 3.75mm needle. So, that's my finish. First thing I've finished for a little while, I feel like, but at least something off the list. Right, the frog. The frog was my Light Bright by Wool and Pine. It was my project to knit on last Tuesday, which is when I recorded the podcast. And I was blending in the next colour, and I only did about 8 rows during the day because I was looking at it and I was thinking, I don't like it. I don't like this, and I couldn't put my finger on why. I've since realised that the reason why was that they were solid colours, and I was blending a solid colour into a very different solid colour, and it was leaving me with a stripe of marled yarn that was very obvious and I didn't find aesthetically pleasing, shall we say. So I took it off the needle. I redid the neckband because that I managed to get that wonky, if you remember. I redid that, and then I took it off the needles to take out the dark yarn. I thought I'm just going to colour block it. So I took the new yarn out, and I thought, oh, while I've got it off the needle, I'll try it on. Because there had been, if you remember, a comment made that the armpit wasn't very deep. And so I'd added some extra rows. And in actual fact, that worked perfectly. The armpit was perfect. But the pattern tells you to add, I think it's 4 to 8 inches of positive ease. Let me bring it up to show you. I had gone, being a larger lady, I personally don't think that a lot of positive ease is flattering on me. I think it makes me look bigger. So I had gone for the lowest amount of positive ease, which was 4 inches. Trying to get the pattern up to show you. Bear with me a second. Right. So this is it on the model on the pattern. That doesn't look like it's got 4 to 8 inches of positive ease to me, but this is all the value of hindsight. And I also realised that these are very busy, variegated yarns, and I was knitting it in solids, and that's why it wasn't working. By that point, I had figured that out. Anyway, so I tried it on, and even allowing for the fact that I'd added 4 inches of positive ease, it was going to be about 8 inches too big. And I know that's within the parameters of the positive ease you're supposed to add, but it just looked awful. Even though it was a raglan, and this isn't, but it's, this is the Bubble Sweater by Stephen West. I've just realised I didn't tell you that. Normally, I, these days, avoid round yokes because they're not flattering on me. There's too much fabric that's got nowhere to go. This one is okay because the bubble stitch is a bit like a rib and it pulls it in. The Light Bright had raglans, so it should have fitted nicely, but there was a load of extra fabric up here. So somewhere in my calculations I'd gone wrong. And I know that some of you are going to be saying, well, this is why we swatch. And this is what happens when you don't swatch. It all goes to hell in a handbasket. And yes, it does sometimes. But that's the risk I take. I think possibly the issue came from the fact that I was holding fingering weight double and not a DK, which I think, depending on the fingering weight you're using, gives you more of a worsted weight creeping up towards Aran. But anyway, suffice to say, I have frogged it. I've chosen a different pattern for the yarn. The yarn is so beautiful that I really wanted to knit it up, and I'm going to knit a wrap. Pardon me, but that probably won't get cast on until I've got some more things off the needles. I think I'm down to 28 whips now, so I finished something, I frogged something. Pretty sure that's 28. It might take me down to 27. Either way, I've got a long way to go before I can comfortably cast some more stuff on. So that was my frog and my finish. It's not been a terribly conducive week time-wise for knitting. I had a hospital appointment on Thursday, which meant that I didn't get any knitting done apart from a few rows on my handbag sock. So there's actually 2 projects that I haven't touched this week, so I won't show you those. I'll show you the ones that I have actually worked on. This is the Aramilla Shaw by Amber O'Brien, and I'm now well into what I think must be the colour called Malaga. So it's quite a nice rich, oh, it's looking very orange. It's quite a nice rich red. It's not orange, it's red. Never mind. It doesn't look like I've done much because my marker is there, so I've done just over an inch. But as it grows and grows and grows, I'm going to have to move it onto a larger needle soon. That is half the wingspan now. It's getting bigger, and I'm getting a bit more confident that I might get all of the yarn into it. The yarn is by Blooming Yarns. It's a gradient cake that is 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. There you go. Oh, I held it for a bit in the hope that it would brighten up and show you the true colours, but it's not doing. It just looks all orangey brown in the middle, and it isn't. It really isn't. There's a red, then a burgundy, then kind of a cinnamon colour, but they all look orangey brown on camera. At least on my screen. They might look better on yours. I did cut the crocodile off. He has been liberated, and so there's less tangling when I get it out the bag these days. But yeah, I'm enjoying the pattern, I'm enjoying the colours. I'm looking forward to getting on to the next colour all the time, so I don't think I even got a full day's worth of knitting done on that. I think that was a reduced knitting day rather than a no knitting day. So there's that. Oh, where to put it? Put it there. This I did some work on. This is the... Now it's either Le Pas Pouf or Le Pouf Pas. It is no longer Le Pouf because I'm not poofing it. But I got quite a lot done. There was my marker. All the way down here I've got the next colour in. So it's starting to... No, you can't see. Let me tip you down a bit. Is that any better? Not really. Starting to get to where it needs to be, I think. I've got one more colour to put in before I start the bottom ribbing. So I'm expecting it to be a shorter cardigan than I would normally make, but not cropped. And as it's to go over dresses in the summer, I don't think that's going to matter. So happy with this. I've tried it on, and the armholes on this feel a little snug, but I don't know how much of that is because it's on the cord, which doesn't really let the stitches slip terribly well. Let me see if I can. Let's try this arm. I remember this from last week. You can see better if I put it on my left arm. It's going over quite a thick jumper, so that doesn't help much either. But it looks like it's meant to look. Let's put it that way. It's doing okay. So let me rescue the yarn, which has gone down the side of my chair. Everything falls down there. It's like some kind of black hole sucking things in. Right. That's that. I may seem like I'm rushing a little bit, and I am, because, to put it bluntly, Zoom starts in 7 minutes and I've still got quite a lot to show you. Plus I've got a visitor coming today, which I am a little bit overexcited about. Right, the last thing, no, it's not the last thing. Why do I always do this? Second to last thing that I've knit on this week is my Radvent cardigan by Amber O'Brien. Loads. Right. Sorry. You'll have to bear the rustling because I've stupidly put it in a plastic bag. Why do I do these things? Just to annoy people, I expect. Sorry. Sorry, Russell haters. Okay, last week I was there, and since then, I don't know how well you're going to see this, I finished that side of the front. So I am going to have to put this on my right arm because it's the right side, and it will look weird if I don't, because the back goes halfway across the back. So check I've got it the right way up. There you go. It is curling because it's on a cable thingy, a try-on cable thingy, but I'm quite happy with the length. It's got about that much rib on, so that's going to be a nice length for overdresses. I'm also happy with how far across me it comes, and there's a button band to go on top. I've seen a lot that are sort of like this. They don't come any further round than that. And whilst I probably won't ever do it up, at least if it does meet, I can. So I took notice of the waist measurement when I looked at what size I was going to do, or under bust measurement, whatever you want to call it, rather than the full bust measurement, and I made that size, which is not necessarily the size I would have gone for had I made the full bust measurement. It's probably a size larger than I would have made, if not 2 sizes larger. So yes, I am very pleased with this. You can see the fade is gorgeous. I'll show you the other side because obviously there's more colour on the back because the back goes further than the front. see if I can get it to behave. Look at that. And this is Blue Fern Yarns Apothecary Advent from last year, 2024. I can't wait to finish it. I would cheerfully just knit on this all week. But having finished one side, I immediately cast on the second side. So I've done the cuff and I've got, I think, 5 rows of the first colour in. And this is colour 1. I don't know why I did it this way, but you start the right sleeve, or you should start the right sleeve with colour 1. I started it with colour 24 because I had 24 colours. And then you should start the left sleeve with colour 25 because it's written for 25 colours. And I started it with colour 1. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. It's just the way I did it. I think because I'd separated the 2 halves of the Advent into 2 bags, and the bag that started at day 24 was on top, so that's where I started. That's the best I can give you. So that's the Radvent. Loving it. Already planning more, which I am inclined to do, as you know. And then I finally got a bit of work done on my May blanket pick. So you could see there, not very well you can't, but there is where I was. I finished the purple and last night I just started on the blue. All these yarns are my own. Some of them dyed up specifically for the blanket. And really, this should go away at the weekend and I should pick something else. But I've decided that I'm going to keep on with it. It's a blanket that I can finish. It's not scrappy. It's the Bits and Bobs by KF Jones, by the way. It's not a scrappy blanket, so I can finish it. So I think I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to keep it out until it's finished. And then I'll pick another blanket. And if that's scrappy, I might just do that for the month. Or I might carry on with that as far as I can. I'm just going to see. I'm just going to try and go with the flow. I make all these rules up for myself. And sometimes that makes it fun. And sometimes it takes the fun out of it. So I'm trying to remember that this is my hobby and I'm supposed to be enjoying it, not making rules and stuff. Okay, that's it for knitting content. The day you're watching this, if you're watching it when it comes out on the 28th of May, tomorrow is our members Zoom. Membership is through Ko-fi. It gives you various things and access to a members Zoom, which at the moment is once a month. And then there's the shop update to talk about, which happens on Sunday. So if you're not interested in that, I'm going to say, hope your weather is nicer than mine. I'm sorry, I'm an English podcaster. It's got to be done. It is May. It is almost June. I'm in Somerset, the summer country, and it's drizzling out there. What can you do? The weather is whatever it wants to be. So I hope you're having nice weather. Whatever your preferred weather is, I hope that's what you're having. And I will see you next week. If you are sticking around for the shop update, I need to grab this again. Okay. This saves me having to put loads of photos in, which takes up storage space on my device. And also, where's that gone then? Or I might have to put a photo in instead. Right, I'm just going to scroll through a million photos while you guys sit around and watch me doing nothing. I can feel myself getting hot because I'm frustrated. Right, I can at least show you this. This is the inspiration for the Mystery Mini Club and the Mystery Full Skein Club for June. That will be going into the shop on Sunday. So will the Mystery Mini and Mystery Full Skein summer sets, which are June, July and August all in one go. I would show you a picture of that. I might try and put it in here actually, because I can't seem to find it on here, but never mind. Right, also going in are the 3 Advent Revisited skeins. There's only 6 left to go, so there's only July and August left to do these now. And this month we have... Now I've taken some artistic license with this one, so be kind about it. My friend Caroline, who is the host of the Aria Bark podcast, lives in Scotland, not very far away from this, and tells me that it's actually more of a rusty colour than the pink that I've used. Pardon me. But this is, as I say, artistic license. So this is the 4th bridge. That would actually have worked just as well with a rusty colour rather than the pinky red, but artistic license, as I said. Sorry, the rain has just suddenly got a lot heavier. This one, again, bit of artistic license, is Glasgow Cathedral. Now, these were photo inspirations during last year's Advent, and you don't have the benefit of the photo. So you'll have to take it from me that the photo was kind of a pinky colour and grey. Oof, that's blowing out. That is blowing out something fierce. That's more the colour of the pink. It's kind of a... It's a yellowy pink, very corally and grey. And then this one is Glenfinnan Viaduct. And again, you don't have the benefit of the pictures. So I could be telling you any old nonsense. But this does actually go very well with the picture that you can't see. And again, that's blowing out quite badly. That's a bit better. But it's a bit far away for you to be able to see the speckles and what have you. Oh, I've just remembered a thing I used to do. Hang on. No, I think that's just as bad. We're going to give that up. That's just not working. Right then, that is everything I had to tell you. I'm going to go. I'm only 5 minutes late from Zoom. I can clear up the mess that I've made whilst on Zoom. And I will see you next week. Hopefully, with everything having had at least a day's work on it. My Le Pouf sweater, which again is not going to be poof, didn't get touched, and neither did my Carmen Joy shawl. So try harder this week, I think. And I will see you next week. And until then, happy knitting. Bye guys.